Hello there everybody, it's James back again at you with a new thing that I'm going to add to my new channel. I'm going to call it the How to Cheap. Anyway, in How to Cheap, I'm basically going to go do dollar store items and turn them into very odd, fun, or even straight up, practical things that you just use all the time. But starting out with it, I had a good friend of mine that's been getting me into gas masks. So you're probably wondering, if you're looking at gas mask, this does not look like a gas mask at all. Now, everything that you see in front of me here, from left to right, is directly from any cheap store you can go to. I personally like Dollar Tree, so that's what I used. And the only exception to that is activated charcoal. Now these little filters right here, that got really good grains in them. The smaller the grain, the better. That was $9 at a pet store, but it's not hard to find. You can go to any pet store and probably some thrift stores. Anyway, we're going to do a how-to video, how to cheap it, and the total for that right here was from the dollar store $9, and then this itself was also $9. You can buy it cheaper, or you can buy it bigger, and better buck per bang for buck in a sense. It'd be a little more expensive, but you'll get way more, obviously. But anyway, and yes, off to the right over there, the good old pad, is gonna act as a assistant in our filter system today, so nobody freak out. Anyway, let's get to work. Now, first thing you're gonna have to do is, and I did some of this for sake of time, because I know 60 minutes is a bit of a video. I cut the top off, or the bottom I should say, of our supposed gas mask, and basically what I did is where the actual paper follows along, it leaves a little residue. You just take a pair of scissors and cut that, be nice and comfortable. I did that for the sake of time and just for the sake of safety measures. It'd be a lot easier to just cut this other piece. So you'll have this left over and do whatever you want. Then off to the side. You have this one right here will act as our actual mask. Now, the next thing you're going to have to pre-prep before you start doing this stuff is the actual, the filter, so to speak. And I used a 25-ounce bean can, which I had for lunch. Look at that, good lunch right there in the coffee cup out here. Anyway, this canister is relatively large. I don't suspect it won't work, but I can tell you right now, this is, and I need to disclaim this. This is not an NBC filter. That is impregnated activated charcoal. That's going to cost you a lot of money to buy, and you need to buy a real mask if you're going to go up against something like that. But this is for fun stuff at home, aerosol cans. Your sister took a big old dump and you don't want to smell it. Well, there you go. Get bored. As I was saying, for the sake of time, I'd opened this, cleaned it out, and put all the holes inside of there. Now you want to make your stuff fairly, I'd say spread apart evenly in a sense, and you don't want to put too many holes in the can. This right here may or may not be a little too many, but I did a little weird design that looks kind of Indian if you look at it. It's kind of masonry looking stuff in a weird way. But I pre-did that for the sake of time as well. And this right here alone is probably going to take you about 5 to 10 minutes if you're doing it right. This one took me like 2 max, just kind of cleaning up the rim and making sure I'm not going to cut myself. Here's your actual mask and filter, and here's your lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and move that out of frame. Next part you're going to do is actually going to be moving around this filter here. So what you want to do, get everything out of your way, and everything I showed you before, this will act on many occasions here. And first part you want to do is you're going to take your cotton balls right here, and you're going to move them around. You'll spread them out. The best way to spread them, because if you don't, it'll be really hard to breathe through. So you want to take all that, shove this particulate filter, basically, is what you're making, down into the bottom. You want to cover the entire bottom as evenly as possible. I'm going to spread these little puppies out, because like I said, it'll be very hard to breathe through if you do not. Well, it's going to be hard either way, because it is, a filter, so it's going to obstruct your airway, but nevertheless, alright, you just want to, if you guys can see down in there, I'll show you in a second once I get this last one in there. Alright, so now if you see in the bottom, you can't see any hole. You know, you can see through the holes a little bit if I kind of tilt down here, and you don't want to be able to see, like right here in the bottom, you see little filter holes. That's not good. So I'm going to go ahead and add another one in there. You want to make sure that all of that is covered, and make sure you can't really see through anything. So I'm going to add another one in there. Just going to move it around and actually use this to get it nice and puffed down in there. There we go. Actually, I need one more. I think you still breathe through that. Alright. Now that you got this evened out, just like so, and you can't see anymore and you threw it in there, what you're going to do next is you're going to take your activated charcoal. Now, activated charcoal, just for quick reference, if it has been open and exposed to the elements, the odds of it working are fairly low. You need to keep it in a encapsulated area. The less air exposed to is better, I would say. And the tighter the more granule the charcoal is, the better. Again, I'm going to cover this in my last video. My screen's a little weird. It likes to adjust awkwardly for no reason. But if you look in here, I don't know if you can see it very well. These are very fine chunks of charcoal. I'll put some on the table when I'm done here. But what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to dump that activated charcoal into your filter, and which it will not fall at the bottom if you did this right, because all of that stuff that's acting as your particulate filter will be there. I had a friend say that if you are using these, you know, you can actually put this in there, you know, take the two that you use and stuff it full of the cotton swabs, and it'll stop all of this from running through. I, for the sake of time, will not be doing that because, you know, this is down and dirty. Down and dirty being, again, not usable for NBC use. Do not, if you have another option, this should definitely be the farthest from your first choice in terms of gas or anything like that. But now, so, you got your fine granules, and I do believe that will be good in a sense. I'm going to make sure this all fits in there properly. Okay. Alright. Now, that may actually be a little too much. So maybe 1 8/10 of one of these bags. I'll give you the... It's like a 3 by 24 ounce, 72 ounce bag of it. 2 of those would have been good for the 25 ounce can. Now, the next part you have to do is take your top layer particulate filter and make that out of the same stuff you did last time. Now this makes sure that the charcoal does not come up through the mask when you are in use. Boom, boom, boom. I think I used so far a total of maybe 9, pending 10 of these little puppies here. It looks like it's going to be 10. Boom. Alright. So, once you got your 10 little friends in there, you are going to... And like I said, you know, this little Tampax thing here, this is just an idea that I'm going to try out. You know, I'm going to use this to kind of keep the activated charcoal inside. You know, you're going to use 2 of them. And because the reason why I'm using them is because when you breathe up, you know, it creates an air pocket. It kind of goes like this, like here's your air coming up and it goes around like this and it circulates. So in theory, it could actually help catching extra particles. And somebody's saying, you know, why would you want a pad right by your face? You know, these are actually more sterile than the air you are breathing. One, because they are designed in that sense that they are simply a gauze wrapped in an extra fiber. and they are meant for an area that needs to stay sterile in order to not be infected. So, you know, also good for bullet wounds, which I'll cover in another video. You know, obviously, I'm not going to self-inflict a bullet wound to explain it to you and give you live proof, but, you know, here's your top piece. You know, it's going to hold most of your stuff in there. I'm not going to obviously flip it over because it's not designed to do that. There you go. You know, it's staying in there pretty well, as you can see. I'm dumping it over, actually. It will stay in there. Cool. So that'll hold it in. Now you don't have to worry about when you're rattling around it falling out. So you can walk around and you can breathe through both ends. Okay. So this right here is your total finished out filter. You've now made a basic filter, which we hope will work. We're going to test. And the next part you're going to have to do is your face mask. Now, like I said, for the sake of time, I cut off the top piece. And now it is time to cut the outside off so you can actually make this your mask. What you want to do is you kind of want to, you know, guesstimate your face size. Boom. Alright. You can come around the other side and you cut out a little rectangle here. And again, if you want, you know, you can go and measure out the sides and all that good stuff. But for the sake of time, I did not. And boom. Now, here's your actual face mask. It's supposed to go on your face just like this. So, if you do it right, you should have a airtight seal. But I cut the tip of mine a little too far on the ends, which is not impossible to fix, which is why you have this stuff here. And for that part, it's going to take you a few minutes. It may take me a few minutes as well, simply because I have to get my mask to fit me properly. The last thing you want is this mask to not fit, and then you spray a bunch of aerosol cans in your room, and now you're splattering, as one of my favorite YouTubers says, all over the place. Cut that down. And again, this piece that I'm cutting up top right now is not a mandatory cut. I'm just doing it to fit my own face a little better. Alright, try and speed up this process a little bit if I can. Alright, cool. Now, the next part you're going to do is you're going to take this beautiful stuff right here, and you're going to line the outside of your mask with it, just to, it makes it a little more air sealed, so to say, which, you know, and it makes it a lot more comfortable. So, I mean, if you're going off of a comfort basis, and you want this to be fun and not, you know, uncomfortable, well, here's your option. Cut that. So, just to show you quickly, that is exactly how you're going to do that piece right there. So, you go all the way around, and if you miss a little spot and it has a little bit of like a little open hole here, you know, just use this to cover that seal piece, because it is tape, it will seal. I'm going to go ahead and finish lining this while I am preparing the results. But I'm going to go on to the next piece, and this right here, like I said, I will finish while I'm off camera. And I mean, it's the same principle. You just bend it over the top and keep going down the line. I'm going to go ahead and build the rest of the mask, the rudimentary parts of the mask, so that we can get on to the next result, which is the testing phase. Now, you have now built your mask in a sense that you have your mask built and you have your filter built. Now, next thing you need to do would be to put this mask and filter together, right, as a filtration system. So, what you do at that point, before you do that, because a lot of people, including myself, the first time I tried this, forget that you need to actually have the mask able to go on your face. Now, what you do, and you're probably saying, you know, why are you putting a hole in your face mask if you're going to use it to get away from chemicals? Well, here's why. How are you going to put it on your face? I mean, I don't think you want to hold it, so if you don't, go ahead and put these little holes right here so you can clamp something onto it. I'm going to go ahead and just add one because it should hold on the bottom of my face. It's here, so yeah. Just go ahead and push right here when we do the test. But for sake of comfort, you could do another set down here. I'm going to use this equivalent of 89-cent bungee cord to hold it on my head once I put it on there. As such, I'll show you what I'm talking about, because, you know, you always have that one person in the comments that says, hey, why didn't you waste more time explaining how to put that on? Nope. Here you go. And it sits on your face comfortably. There you go. Boom. So now you have your gas mask on your face. And once this is aligned properly, you should have an airtight seal. And I'm feeling pretty airtight. Typically, when you do that, because this is on, it'll suction cup. But like I said, I cut too deep right here, so I'm going to have to doctor that up, which I can do. And I will do that off camera, so I don't waste more of your time. Anyway, this right here. Now the next fun part is to put the actual mask onto your, oh my gosh, lots of words. Filter. Sorry, excuse me. Wow, I'm terrible at this. And for that, you're going to use duct tape. This is also bought from the dollar store. So again, you know, it is in a sense dollar store duct tape, which is clearly less duct tapeable than a regular duct tape, which is made from the same company and everything. So, and whatever, right? What you want to do is you want to make sure there is no way that air is going to get through this section where it's connecting your mask to your actual filter, because that will create a seal leak and you will then have stuff coming into your mask, which if you are a little more brave than me and you're doing another test, which I saw online where somebody decided, hey, let's test it with tear gas, you are not going to have a good time. It's pretty easy to see where the actual faults in your mask are, because you can look down and say, hey, I see air coming through here, I see a pocket that's not fixed together. But you know, don't be afraid to really put this on there. You know, it's not supposed to look beautiful, it's supposed to work. So and go all the way down, make the mask look pretty, you know, like I just said you didn't have to do, but you know, now that we're here, all the way down, avoiding any ability for there to be any leaks in the mask. And boom, this right here should work as a gas mask, which we will find out in the next video. This is hanging off my face. I'm probably going to have another piece that I pull up or something to keep it, you know, from going too hard off my face. Or I'll just, you know, hold the actual cup here. But fun stuff. And that right there is how you make your rudimentary gas mask. In theory, it should work, and we will test it in the next video, which will be extremely shorter than this. We'll be using these two furniture polishers as our aerosol, and I will lock myself in the bathroom and spray the whole can and see what we find. Alright, this has been How to Cheap, and I hope you guys subscribe down there at the bottom, and I hope you enjoyed the video. You know, if you got any suggestions for me on anything, you know, any suggestions on videos or, you know, how to improve my videos, let me know, send them there. And please, no toxic comments. I mean, obviously I can't please everybody, but I mean, you know, you can say things without being a total douche. Have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed the video.